Kalalong ke jingkmen ke bakrau ye ki nong ilam Shnong ke Ribhoi district. Kibadan haka wege kan hon ke belatip kum ka senjuk ki Rangbah Shnong Ribhoi district. Haka ne sngi ki bynta. Namar ke jungwan poi jong Myntri Rangbah ke Sarkar Jilla bani sim bynta haka jingilang jong Rangbah Shnong ke Ribhoi district ke balong bynta ke sngi hapari shahol Nongpoh. Hapa penpau halor ke jingang not jong ki kum ki nong ilam Shnong ki nong ilam ke senjuk kelayo ban penpau Markhmat hakmaru Myntri Rangbah ke Sarkar Jilla ukon rat ke sangma yaki nyau Tylli kimat ki Bakongsan bha hapo ke district ki balong ki mat ki bedai bat ki jingyo jing mentoi ki mat jong ke jingyada bat ki we ki bakenthup kum ke jingang not jong ke senjuk ban pen kloino ye ke jing penbet yo put usam ke Jilla ke jing pentikna ye ke jing me jong boarding electric hapo ke district ke jingyada ban wanra ye ke snyang ki manabar klem dadon ke jing pit penia ye ke kot ke khya jong ki snyang bat ki we Bat ke bakham penhun mensim ye ki nong ilam galong bau Myntri Rangbah syam lapan selam ye ke Jubab Henry ula Jubab lut ye ki jing Pynsngew jong ki nong ilam ke senjuk ki Rangbah Shnong Ribhoi hakapor ke bawah jingkren Shushu nomor ke jing Pynsngew jong ki nong ilam baki donkam bantai ye ke office trikam jong ke senjuk Myntri Rangbah ula penmang sendon da ke scheme chief minister ke basan paulak tengka nak benta bantai no ye ke office trikam jong ke senjuk Nalaru Myntri Rangbah ke Sarkar Jilla ukon rat ke sangma hagane ke sngi laidon langru semput Myntri Rangbah ke Sarkar Jilla ubak prestun tensong arngut ki Myntri Sarkar ki bakenthup ye ubak sustainer sotun baru Timothy Dishira ki MLA ke district ki officer Sarkar lemat ki we
And I'm sure all of you are aware that we have very clearly agreed that development should not be stopped. So therefore, of course, the areas are very big, the requirements are many, and hence we cannot solve everything in one go. But now that we've specifically mentioned 4 roads, about 2 kilometers each, I would, of course, our Deputy CM in charge PWD is here. Once the PWD department does the basic survey, politically, since the Assam elections also now are over, politically we will take up this matter with Assam government to ensure that they will not intervene in the development aspect, because they have agreed, both the state governments have agreed that when development comes in with consultation, there should not be any problem. So we will work on this, but as I said, allow the PWD to just do a bit of a survey and then they get back to me. But definitely this is one area which I will personally look into. Second, you mentioned about the Google map and the issue of the villages which are well within Meghalaya but are not being shown. So again, now the elections are over in Assam, I will definitely take up this matter with the Assam Chief Minister and ensure that this is brought out in the next talks that we have, and accordingly inform Google and the other GPS companies to ensure, mainly Google of course, to ensure that this rectification made, if what you are saying is correct. So I mean, I don't know. So I don't want to express in front of everybody without finding out the facts. But what you said is true, then definitely that has to be rectified. Because these are not areas of differences. These are already areas which are well within Meghalaya, as per your statement. And if that is the case, then the GPS and the Google Maps should reflect this also. Third point you mentioned about the electricity. Again, if you can give me specific names of the villages which are affected, I will definitely find out. We are Government of India, Government of Assam and our own government. We are all working to ensure that under a special scheme called RDSS, all the villages which have been left out must be covered. So therefore, if you give me the names of the villages, I presume that your villages must be in that list in Meghalaya. So let me find that out. So just give me that. Is it in your memorandum? Okay, I need the names of the villages. So once you have the names of the villages, then I'll be able to take it up and I will find out and we will get back to you on this. I hope you put your mobile number on there. Yeah. And the last point you mentioned was regarding the health, that the manpower is less in the PSC. We have taken steps in the past to ensure that manpower at least was better than before. But like you just mentioned to me, some people have not joined. So I'll have to examine that, and definitely as soon as I go back to Shillong, I will get a review meeting done with the health department and ensure that the required manpower is given at the earliest. So we do have shortage of doctors. That doctors is still a problem for us, but other manpowers should be possible, and doctors also to whatever extent we can. So I've taken a note of all the 4 points you mentioned. I'm not saying that I can solve everything in one go, but these are the kind of see and connect moments that are very important for us, because this is the public directly speaking to the Chief Minister, and hence these are real issues that are coming up to us, and these are the best moments, I should say, for us as a government to be able to really do things that impact the people directly. So I'm very, very happy with your memorandum and the way you have shared the problems. One more point you mentioned earlier was regarding the overall administrative response and the government's response towards the people in the border area. You find that government of Meghalaya's response is lesser compared to government of Assam towards their side. If that is the case, then there's definitely room for improvement, and I take it personally, and I will ensure that we create a system. Maybe we'll have some kind of an ADC or somebody who will directly be responsible in that particular area, and so that they can communicate immediately and inform if there is some incident, some situation or some problem that they're facing. Because whenever our jurisdiction is there, especially not in the areas where the areas of differences are there, but where our jurisdiction is clearly there, there's no reason people should feel unsafe, there's no reason why government should not respond, there's no reason why administration should not respond. The entire power sector is divided into three parts: generation, transmission and distribution. So where we have problem in this area where the frequent disruption takes place is in the distribution area. Now, why does the distribution have these problems? When we have to distribute power to villages, we have to create different stations and substations. These substations and stations basically control a specific area. Now in Meghalaya for the last 54 years, the problem is that the investment that was required to be made in distribution, and especially under substations, was not done in a balanced manner. And for whatever reason, the infrastructure in and around Shillong, because it's a capital and from erstwhile in Assam time, the major substations and investments were made in and around Shillong. And therefore, almost all the other areas across our state, they have suffered. It's not just Nongpoh, it's the same in almost all the rural areas. You go to Garo Hills, you go to southwest Khasi Hills, you come to Ribhoi, and also if you go towards some parts of Jente Hills. Our main problem is because of lesser substations. Now let me explain how this works. If there is a substation that is out here, which handles this entire room, that's what's happening. So one substation is today covering 100 square kilometer, for example. If there is some cut in the power or some trip that takes place out here, that person living out there also the power goes off. Right in the corner of this room. And if the power trips out there, in that corner also, the power goes off here also. This is the complexity of substation. Now imagine, this is only one room, but imagine 100 square kilometer. If one substation is handling this, then it becomes very, very difficult to immediately restore the power back, because it takes time for us to figure out where the tripping took place. So therefore, you see this kind of situation that takes place in the power sector because of the distribution network, transmission network not having sufficient substations as we must have. That is a legacy problem and a problem we've been facing for 54 years plus. Now, two reasons or two solutions to this. The first solution is, of course, that we construct more substations. So once we have many substations, and this one room is divided into 4 parts, one substation handling this, one substation handling this, one substation handling this, and one substation up there. Then any tripping that takes place here is not going to affect the rest of the sections. So therefore, we need to create more substations, which is what we are doing. But the requirement is over 100 plus substations. I think maybe around 150. And each substation costs roughly about 10 crores. So as a government, we have taken a conscious decision, number one, to at least start in a phase-wise manner. So we take about 10-15 substations every year and we start building them up. Good news for Nongpoh is that a very large 132 kV substation is being constructed. It's almost completed. I hope that maybe the next 2-3 months we'll be able to charge it also. And once that substation comes up, you will have a large relief, at least in this area and adjoining areas. The second is, of course, manpower. So more substations, and in the interim, more manpower is required, which is correctly mentioned by MECL. The problem is again that this is 100 square kilometer. So even if I involve maybe 10 more people, it's not going to make the kind of difference that public would expect. So we would require, say, in one area, hundreds of people, so that they are all in different parts, so that if lightning strikes somewhere and there's some trip that takes place, we are then immediately able to solve it within an hour or 2 hours. But yes, I take your suggestion well. We can enhance the manpower temporarily, at least so that some relief can be given. But that is going to be temporary in nature only. Permanent relief is only when we get substations, which is happening. And as I said, in Nongpoh also, a very large substation which was again pending for a long time. That should be cleared very soon. But I take your suggestion. This is a very difficult problem. It's not a problem we can solve immediately. The biggest problem, of course, we had was the financial position of MECL, which was very, very bad, as you all know. But today, with government support, where government is even today, we are supporting MECL every year with a subsidy of over 900 crores. You know, public should know this, that today government of Meghalaya gives MECL approximately 900 crores every year, just so that we can have power every day, just so that there is no official load shedding, unregulated load shedding because of lightning and other tripping happens, but there is no regulated load shedding anymore because government is paying enough money to MECL and for manpower and even for, so now for 900 crores you can take more manpower than go to 1000 crores. That is the only decision you will take. So it's not a very easy decision where we are already supporting MECL every year. So don't think 900 crores is total. Last year also we paid 900 crores, the year before that also we paid 900 crores. But you'll be surprised to know that we consumed 33,000 metric tons of fish. But locally from Meghalaya itself we only produce 20 to 22,000 metric tons. So 30,000 metric tons still comes from outside the state because the demand is there. Similarly, I don't remember for the others so much, but pig pork I remember. So pork demand is roughly about 18,000 metric tons in the state. You'll be surprised fish is more. So we have about 18,000 metric tons of demand for pork. And as per the current detail, again this is, I'm talking purely statistics of the veterinary department. We have a production of about 10,000 to 11,000 metric tons, which means we are still short of 8,000 metric tons, which we have to get or we are buying from outside. And this is a fact. I mean, production has been going up, but we still have not been able to produce enough for ourselves. And this is a real fact. Now, that is the reason why we came up with a big revision. Because we realized that 50% of the meat is coming from outside. And if 2,000 crores is the consumption every year of Meghalaya, which means our people are paying 1,000 crores to outside producers to buy the meat that is coming from outside. That means it's a loss for our entrepreneurs, it's a loss for our farmers, and it's an opportunity for our people to be able to supply that particular meat, be it pork, poultry, egg, fish, chicken, whatever. So this is really where we are right now. Now coming to the specific point of pig and pork, there could be some kind of a market complexity right now in Ribhoi and Shillong. It could be happening in this particular phase. I am aware about that. But the fact still remains that the supply from outside is still needed because we are not able to produce enough for ourselves. But in order to promote our own pork and our own people. By simply coming up with a price, a minimum price, which is of course very difficult. I don't think it will be possible for us to have a minimum support price for pork, because then every product will have to have that, and it will open up a very difficult angle for the government. But promoting the local market and promoting our local farmers is something that I'm happy to do. So therefore, apart from the piggery mission that we are doing, apart from the CM Elevate program, which we will do more to help our people, I will definitely examine the pork market, prime market, so that way we can have piggery, pork, as well as other markets. And I think it will be great if we can do it in collaboration with the Rangbah, Shnong, and we will work with all of you. And there will be some partnership, because for government we don't want to run it. We want the public to run it, we want the community to run it. So this is something I will definitely explore and very, very positively examine it. We have created many markets, farmers markets in many parts of the state. I'll be happy to examine this also. Of course, land is going to be an issue, but then since all of you are here, I hope we get the support for the land, and we'll be able to create this. And it will make a lot of sense, because again, I hope that apart from being able to meet our own requirements of the meat consumption that we do, that we'll be able to also supply to the rest of the Northeast in the days to come. That's really the opportunity which we're looking at. And that's why, as I said, we're coming up with so many schemes that the CM Elevate and Prime and all these things. So I'll be very happy to look into it. Regarding control of the products from outside the state, of course, district administration will have to play a very key role in that. We cannot stop it completely, but we can have different measures to check the safety aspects of it.
Teng kung kinong Shnong, Myntri, Myntri, Shillong, tur gimana gimana klentik yang adu agam, klentik yang ayam saim, klentik yang jingle kau. Upaya pak jodi teng khubor ini, saya. Kau boleh siapa? Nak tahu ini sejuk jom Rangbah Shnong, jom ketika kita Ribhoi orang ini. Sngewbha sobrong ahliyo manfaat itu dikenal sini, baru berjejak terang kaya. Di sejuk Rangbah Shnong berjalan bersama Myntri, ini itu amal Myntri. Nama Bakongsan ke isu, mereka bi ke isu. Kabangai kumbagai kan kamu isu. Kamu yang belum terus. Dari hal kamu. Di kota Bakongsan yang di Rangbah Shnong baru coba Ribhoi, jong ke distrik Ribhoi. Ingin dia terang atas perkara apa dalam jong waralul chief minister. Dan juga interpretation dari chief minister Jubab, kau ini bagaimana nampakkan nanti hampa harwede bahkan connectivity harwede bahkan lengki kesegi ngin simkia bahkan jing amul jompi kungki bosno atau way bakongsan ngin yo yang berbeda berbeda. Nama kali jing sedang jom harwede bapa habokan distrik bahkan menjelai jomi para pawai dengan kuasa berhenti promosi ngai kecing kerbu yang sejuk di Rangbah Shnong. Komo membi kecing siam jona politik sekali kasih kepada fok pengilang banyak kernu kumne untuk sejuk para pawai. Tongin yang berkelain yang kecing dari joni bagi nak liang coba seperti bagi kum sejuk para pawai. Kenapa dilakukan berurut yang anggur jong kipai bang Shnong hapo urusan jong dari distrik para away dobe kerana berurut lagi yang kiper karena resem tu maka jadi jong ini mendatasi kalau jong seso biru iyo banbu yang berikut atau office ke joki ya kajing dia shipment tak terpa nabu tu head jok kerja ke joki bangi bak kunju bak pi kunju yang secara tak bukan teman nak kalian jok asam proses ngin sabteng dia yang katukan joint inspection namanya ada tahu ya joint committee kalau nak kalian juga sama nak kalian job itu kena bagi job pada kendep saya kena bagi home office kalau nak kerana sekarang hadir bagi serta mai kan nanti aku keluar ngiskan pada kalian job ini ngiskan betul yang ada dalam saya simpan pada yang ada di suatu jika suatu jibun kalau pada tahap-tahapnya pada kan perlu kajing yang terjadi habden jomi dia beli istri jadi tentang yang diterima bagi Islam sukses Shnong hirlepas Shnong Jokowi Pakoi Shnong kamtamen KPD Banten yang berusaha bagi tu Islam dibanding border habden negara Bakongsan boleh terima kasih sebab berkumpul lagi baru kembali lagi siapa